sitting on the wrong like link waiting, and then I was like,
Okay.
oh, I better.
I did the same thing.
You're on.
Okay, hello everybody. It's Jennifer Crowder, and Ann and I always do our Monday night calls together, first and third Monday of every month. So we decided tonight, since the new incentive period is just starting today, that we would go over all the qualifications for that and just kind of talk about all the tips to earn incentive trips. So this one is called Keep Going, Keep Growing 2021 Incentive Tracker. And I think it's the perfect name just because 2020 was such a crazy year. And so we want to keep going and growing our businesses, as we pretty much just worked our tails off last year for the entire year. So the tracker, I actually always print this off first thing. And Rose and I Rose designed a digital planner, and so I'm super excited about that. I just bought a new iPad to use my digital planner on, and so I added this and lots of other documents to my digital planner so I can just keep track of it on my iPad. But I do like to have this like in my office so that I can like post it up on my bulletin board to be able to see it there. So kick up your sales and sponsoring this season to earn one of 3 levels. So there are 3 levels, and use this tracker to stay focused on the rewards you want most. For more details, check out the incentive section of your workstation. So if you go to your workstation, on the left-hand side is the incentive spot, and you can see that there's an overview, there's track your progress, and then how to earn, in an FAQ on there. So the incentive period starts today and then it ends June 30th. So it's going to go through the end of June. So that's March, April, May, June, 4 months to meet all the requirements. So one thing that I did want to bring up, just that in any incentive that Scentsy does, home office always tries to really focus on the things that we need to be doing to run a successful business. And so that's why they set up the incentive period and the qualifications for the things that they do, is so that we will do those things. And then, so like what we're doing, it's getting recognized. And those are the things that we should be doing to run our business. So in order to have PRV and to be sponsoring people, we have to be partying, right? So I think that first and foremost, the list of 100 is a really, really great place to start. I know that's one of the documents that I just downloaded to my new digital planner. And it was really, as I did that, I went live in our group, but I used to have like the list of 100 printed out from the workstation, and then I had it laminated. And then I have these, I think they're called Staedtl pen markers. Staedtl's like a brand of really nice pens. And so Staedtl has some little dry erase markers that were really fine point. So when I had my list of 100 and I laminated it, I could write on the small lines and you can erase it. It has a little like really small, like pencil sized eraser on those markers. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon or wherever, but I used to use those for homeschooling my kids, and it writes more like a fine tip marker than like the big fat dry erase. So anyway, I loved keeping that that list of 100 always updated by having it laminated and being able to erase if someone joined, or just like, if somebody's not interested, then you could erase it and keep up with it there. So, and off of that list of 100, like I just updated mine And I actually had more to fill in than 100, but that's my goal, is to get on that list and start contacting all of my people. I'm actually doing the accelerated leadership program right now too, which is a leadership program that home office does for directors and above. And so when we do that, they actually do challenge us, and to graduate from the curriculum or the program, you have to do all the things that are required. And it too comes back to having parties, having PRV, and sponsoring new consultants into your team. And I think that it's really important. Like, I've done accelerated leadership before, but I think that it's really important, like if you're wanting to grow a successful business, to just keep doing all the challenges and keep doing all those things, because the more that you apply yourself and just participate in those things, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to advance your business. And Ann and I both know, as superstar directors, you don't ever arrive. You always are needing to sponsor new people for many reasons, but we all know that some people get burnt out and they leave the business, or it's just important to keep things like not stale and keep sponsoring new people and keep going. So on Track Your Progress, it actually shows, like, right now I don't have any points because it just started today, but so there you'll be able to track your progress as it updates. I don't even know. And do you know how often that updates? Is it just daily?
Once a day. Yep.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m.
Okay. And then how to earn. So when they shared this with the superstar directors last week, they were going through all of it and they were like, it's going to be just like last time. And then they were like talking about the luggage. And I was like, so angry. I was like, the same thing. I don't want luggage again. I don't want luggage. And so anyway, Chuck brought out these photos of the Converse Scentsy Converse, and I'm so excited about that. And Trent and I were in the car. I think we were going to an auction, and while I was listening to the call, and he was like, I want Converse. I want Scentsy Converse. So anyway, I'm excited about those. But
And
okay.
There's a bunch of different styles. So we're not
Yeah.
everyone would get the exact same shoe. So they're gonna have like 6 to 8 different styles, and they're all sensified, but they're not all like warmers and wax. Like there's such a variety that Chuck was showing us. So if you're like, I don't know about the shoes, they're actually kind of cool. And they're one of a kind. So maybe even if you get them or earn them, you could put them on your shelf or wear them for Scentsy events, or you can wear them every day, whatever you wanted. But yeah, they're, especially if you have the luggage already.
Yeah, I already have the luggage, so I was just excited. And I'm not even a Converse type of girl, but I just thought those were so stinking cute. So I am excited about those. Okay, so for level number 1, our qualifications are to sell 1,000 PRV within the qualification period and sponsor 1 new consultant during the period who reaches certified consultant status through by the end of June. And then if you get level 1, then you earn the fall and winter 2021 new season sales kit for the scent category products. And then an exclusive warmer, which is like the one, like, I'm sure they'll do a new warmer, and then 500 points toward the fall and winter incentive. So I know that I love those fall incentive points. So like, if I didn't even have to work towards anything else, I always look forward to those points for the fall winter incentive period. Level 2 qualifications. To meet level 2, you have to sell 2,500 in PRV within the qualification period and sponsor 2 new consultants during the period that reach certified. For that, you get the fall winter 2021 new season sales kits for home and scent category. And then you get the warmer plus 1,500 points towards the fall winter incentive. Or you can get, if you don't choose all of that, you can get $300 in product credit for a Scentsy shopping spree. Chuck did mention that in the past, you guys may or may not have remembered that they were doing gift cards, but because of, I think they were just having problems like getting them to people like with different regions. And I think it was just becoming more of a hassle. So they're going to do a product credit, and it's actually basically like cash, because if you're partying, you can just pay for a party order with your product credit, and then you could take the cash. So that's kind of how you could treat that if you don't want product, Scentsy product. And then level 3 qualifications is that you have to have 3,500 in PRV and sponsor 3 new consultants, same, making them certified by the end of June. And for that, you would get the home and scent category product kits. You would get the exclusive warmer and exclusive 2-piece set of luggage, or a pair of Scentsy Converse sneakers. So you can get the luggage or the sneakers with that one. And then you get 3,000 points towards the incentive with that, and a $300 product credit for the Scentsy shopping spree. Or if you don't choose any of that, you can just take the $1,000. It's $1,000 US dollars for product credit. So, and then the top 50 earners with the highest PRB and number of recruits who achieve certified status during the qualification period, plus the highest cumulative group wholesale volume of their eligible recruits, they will get an all expense paid trip to Scentsy leadership next January. So, or you can get your choice of level 3 rewards. So that's kind of nice, because some people may not want to take the trip, and then there's always the option to take those level 3 rewards. So that is that. I don't know, the FAQs have a lot of different questions that are answered in there. And then so I don't know about you guys, but like I said earlier, I have my list of 100 ready to go. I'm doing accelerated leadership, so I'm already like on with this mentality that I'm going to sponsor 2 new people. Actually, I have to have 3 new people for accelerated leadership by the end of this month. So I need to get busy. So just, I would encourage everybody, like, don't wait, like get a plan. I know that I posted earlier, what is it? A goal without a plan is just a wish or a dream, something like that. So just, if you guys are like, don't wait. I know a lot of people like, well, I'll just admit, this last incentive, our daughter got married, and I was looking at all the things, all the details, and I knew that our oldest son is getting married. I just knew that this was going to happen. I even called Jason Harwood at home office and asked him what the dates were for the incentive period, which he didn't know. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to Disney because Bo is getting married that weekend, our oldest son. And then, so I had it in my heart that we were just going to go to Broadmoor and I would earn it. And it was okay. But I waited too long and didn't push and work as hard as I should have. And I missed earning level 2 by 1,700 sponsoring points. I had the points, but I just didn't have enough sponsoring points. And so I was pretty bummed about that, but don't wait. Like, start working on it now. That way you can get your new recruits, those people that you're flipping, you can get them certified before the end of the qualification period, because that's super important. So there was something else I was going to mention and it just slipped my mind. Oh, Chuck is that in there, Ann? So Chuck had brought up a steep call about the like those 3,000 points are going to go towards
The hardest part.
Yeah. Is that in the FAQ or anything?
I haven't looked at the FAQ and I didn't know if I was gonna say something, but I'm like, I don't know if that's for real. Like, we should look in the FAQs, because it doesn't say like going to sponsoring, but when we were talking about it last week, when getting the details, he did say, well, we're gonna make it easier. We're gonna push it to where it's the hardest. So,
Yeah. So like that would have actually,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
On that, because usually it's like a split or just the non-sponsoring points, because that's where it sometimes can get hard, is those sponsoring points.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I mean, I know that a lot of people missed the trip or missed that next level just because of like a little, I know Rose was in the same boat, and Crystal Scott, she missed earning it by like, it was like 50 points or 70 points or something. It was so awful. I was like, oh no. When we had coffee one day a couple weeks ago, and she told me how close I couldn't believe it. It hurt me. So yeah, it's that will help all of us to be able to get those points where we need them the most. So
Actually, the 3,000, like,
yeah,
it's huge.
yeah,
You know, granted, you're gonna have to work for it for this time. You know, you only have 4 months to get those 3 active, but if you use March to get people on board, right, to get them signed up, to get them rolling, then you have the next 3 months to then get them to party, to get their PRV in, to, you know, get to certified. I see that a lot on my team, like a few girls that had just joined in January. It was, you know, where they were Courtney, these are probably even on your team, but I feel like they signed up and then all of a sudden their PRV just went gangbusters. Do you know if they were party flips or if they?
I think they were launch parties. I really do. A lot of them were. And then I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, we talked about host exclusive kits and flipping them, and those new people did that with their friends. Whereas I didn't know that when I joined. And if I knew that, I feel like I may have pushed it more back then, you know? So I think it's so important that you talk to the people that are joining and have them start, you know, get their friends and do that way too. But then, yeah, a lot of it was just people wanting to support them and hosting those parties and stuff. So.
And that's the big thing too, is the flipping. I mean, that is,
yes.
If you've got someone $400 or $500 PRV, if you flip them, I mean, that makes it so much closer to getting certified. So Jen had texted me today, like, we need to party. Then what was your saying? It was like perfect on how you said it. I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. I gotta find it.
And I think it's important too that like you remember that it may hurt. You may like some people are kind of like, oh, I don't want to give away that PRV, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm booking this party, but it's better in the long run if you do that. So you want to grow your team with people and not, and you can always push your list of 100 and whatnot and get more PRV and do challenges and mystery bags and everything, but work on flipping those and getting those recruits because that's going to help you. And I feel like that's oftentimes the toughest part, at least for me, is like finding those people that you can flip. So if they want to and you can get them to, worry about that first and worry about your PRV later. It's kind of what I think.
Right. So Jen has said party now to sponsor to certify. I mean, it's just that simple. Like party heavy now and in April, and then you have May, June to get them to certify. You know, like if you can consistently have 3 to 4 parties a month, you know, you're seeing a bunch more people. You know, my thing is I've been trying to do parties. I had my 5 that I needed for accelerated leadership, and now I put them in Bizly and they're going, and now I have like 0 orders, and it's like, oh, you know, so you really have to plan for people that aren't gonna I mean, yes, to set up a link is great, but if they get no orders, then you have no party. So always having more than what you really need is what you need to be looking for. So it's not really recruiting 3 people unless those 3 people have, you know, $1,000 party, then okay, you got it. But really you need like 6 to 8 people to make sure that you can get 3 to certified. It's just how I look at it. But, you know, go for the more than
Like with all
3.
with all of this going on, like I have accelerated leadership going on. I'm trying to earn annual sales still. Like all of it combined, the incentive, like all of it's making me like really hustle now these next couple of months. So it always, I just think that like no matter where you're at in your business, like all things, incentives, challenges, all of it, like it's always important to keep up on it, to keep going, to keep pushing yourself. Like, and that's the joy of Scentsy too, is just that at times we can take breaks and we don't, like, you know, through this year, our daughter got married. It was a crazy year, but like now these next 2 months, like I'm really going to have to focus and do all the things that I need to do to earn the incentive because I'm always driven by that. I love earning those. And so yeah. Also in the workstation, there's also like a cute show. It's just the cute little like the pictures of what you earn instead of just like the words, but that's what you'll earn. It shows like in graphic style. So I thought that that was cool too.
There's this tracker too that Christina Stainbrook put together, and I'll post
Okay, I haven't seen that.
there's 2 styles of it, one with color and one without, but you can color
Okay.
it through, you know, and you guys print those out and use them, hang them so that you can see them every single day, because if you know, lose sight of what you're working for, it's really easy just to let it go. You know, it's 4 months. Yeah, it seems like a long time, but it's going to go so fast. Like, there's only 4 months of school left, or 3 months of school left. Like, oh my goodness.
No, we're on month 3 of the year.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. Also, fundraisers are good ways to get PRV and new people. You know, we haven't talked about fundraisers in a long time. It's a little more challenging right now with COVID, but there's still ways to do it. So it just, you have to just kind of think differently. You know, it's probably not the way that I would have done it 10 years ago, but I can still do it. Are you gonna say, Jen?
I was just gonna say that Rose and I were just talking about fundraisers, going to like, even to different businesses, like always, I mean, realtors doing all the things, you know, whether you're just leaving a warmer, it doesn't hurt. I mean, most businesses probably now would probably welcome pleasant smelling Scentsy in their offices or whatever. So Rose and I were just throwing around ideas, just thinking outside the box again, like how to grow your business, how to make those things happen, like when you feel like you're in a rut or a funk. So always going back to the basics, I think, and I mean, we always talk about that because that's the foundation of everything. Buy, host, join. And like, if you're concentrating on those three things in your business, then you're going to have success.
And that's the simplicity of it. Like, that's the cool part about this business, or Scentsy, really, because that's our, our chords. That's all you really have to do. Just pretty cool. But
does anybody have questions? Nope.
Nope. What's one thing that you guys are going to work on to be able to earn, or earn the incentive? Like, what's one thing you're going to focus? Anybody want to share?
Just like Jennifer said, I mean, I'm doing the accelerated leadership program too. So I kind of feel like the next 3 weeks, I went live on my team page today and highlighted about the incentive, because there's a couple of new people that joined last week. So I, wanted to talk to them in the whole group about the incentive. So I went live and talked to them about that. But I think the next 3 weeks, I'm really putting all of my focus towards advanced leadership. So, I mean, I've got one more that I've got to sign up. I've got one more party that I have to close. So I'll be done with the recruiting part of it and the party part of it. And it's just focusing the last couple of weeks on hitting that PRB.
Sure.
So, and then I feel like I can shift my focus towards the incentive. So it would have been nice to have the recruits last week go towards the incentive this week, but it didn't happen that way. But that's okay, because the recruits from last week go towards the accelerated leadership program. So it's just the way that it fell.
And I have to agree with you when you say, you got to recruit more than 3 people, because I'm thinking of that way, not everyone's going to be like, yay, let's do this. Like, you got to have, I would try to, I told Scott, I want to go for 6 this month. Just, I want my gears ready to go. I earned last summer's incentive, and that extra 3,000 points helped me out.
Yeah.
When it came to this fall and winter. So, and I'm in the accelerated leadership program as well. And I thought, like, kind of the same as you, Kimberly, like, oh crap, because I have my recruits, they're done, I'm good. But I'm like, shoot, I should have waited. But at the same time, I'm like, no, because they're my team members now. I just have to find 3 more, and that's going to do nothing but benefit me, like, in a non-selfish way. I'm growing my team, I'm growing wide, and that's what we want to do. So I know what you mean, Kimberly, but it's just like, okay, nope, I'm no excuse, Katie. You just gotta do it. But yeah,
just because they say a minimum of 3 recruits and a minimum of 5 parties doesn't mean that I stop. So if they say 3, then maybe I shoot for 5. If they say 5 parties, my goal was to try to have 15 parties total from February 14th to March 31st.
That's awesome.
So that was ultimately, that's what I set my goal at, was because I can't sit here and bank on, okay, I got a party booked, and what if it tanks? and I have no backup. So, you know, I'm always having to think ahead. So if I say, okay, I've got 5 parties booked and all of them are crap, then I'm struggling to find 5 more. So, I mean, that's my thought process. And I mean, PRV is PRV. It is what it is. So, yeah, never just settle for less. It's just like, you know, going into this incentive of, okay, I want to earn level 1. Well, why are you going to just say you just want to earn level 1? Why do you not say, I'm going to earn level 3? Or hell, I'm just going to go ahead and hit top 50. I mean, you know, you just don't go in with the mindset, oh, I'm good with 1. What? No.
Yeah, and don't say, I hope I hit level 2. No, say I will hit level
Right.
2. I will. So it's all about those words. And then, like, I think it was Jennifer or maybe Ann, one of you two, like, hang those up, like what level you want and what you have to do. Post-it notes are my best friend. I hang them up everywhere.
And tell someone what level you want. Don't be afraid. Okay, so if you say you want level 3 and then you earn level 2, holy buckets, that's still amazing. Like, and it's okay to not hit a goal. It's totally okay. Nothing's going to happen. Your birthday is still going to be on the same day. People are still going to love you. Like, nothing will really happen other than you just won't get those prizes. But if you don't shoot for it, you're never going to achieve it. There was a speaker that we had at, like, we called it Rock University years and years and years and years and years ago. And she was a professional bodybuilder, and it was her first year competing, and her goal was top 3. Top 3. I just want to make top 3. What place do you think she got? 3.
3.
Got 3. Because what did she say? Top 3. 3. I will never forget that. Like, yeah, top 3 is great. But she kept saying, I want to hit top 3. I want to hit top 3. I want to hit top 3. So that to me showed so much about mindset and how we listen to ourselves. And, you know, the next year she then got first. But, you know, it was just like how she kept saying that over and over and over. And everyone was asking her, oh, I'm going to make top 3. You know, that's my goal. Well, next time she was like, don't ever say that, you know, like, say what you want, claim it.
Yes, I just want to be up there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm very open and very transparent with my team and my group. And, you know, I let them know that I'm doing advanced leadership and this is what is required of me to get through this program. And, you know, this is what, if you want to earn this incentive, this is what you have to do. Nobody else can do that for you, you know. And who doesn't want all the stuff? Who doesn't want all the prizes? And, you know, so, I mean, they all know that I work hard, and, you know, I just don't sit back and expect them to do it all. There is nothing that I ask them to do that I don't ever do myself. So, I mean, they know that I'm doing this thing, and I mean, they see it, and I let them know, look, you know, if you want this is what you got to do to get it.
We even have trackers for accelerated leadership. Like, I put Post-its of like all the different people that I wanted to connect with, and, you know,
Yep.
like, you gotta have it so that you do it, right?
Yep. It's right there in front of me.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so. Not for me. Oh, I did start using Visly the last couple of weeks, though. I did finally just sign up for that. So I don't know why I put it off for so long. I just did. I just had my focus like somewhere else, but I like it. It's been working.
That's what I feel like with Project Broadcast. Like, I know once I do it, I'm just gonna fall in love with it, but it's just taking the time to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, once you learn it, it's very, it's easy once you learn it.
You're
Once you
getting
learn
in
how
your
to-
head that it's too hard. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's not hard.
It's time consuming though, right?
No.
No? Hmm.
What, Visley?
No. Project Broadcast.
Oh,
Takes like 5 minutes.
Rose.
I'm just helping.
Jen, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Myself, because in the living room, they're playing the Chipmunks. Yeah, I was gonna, is Rose a tech guru? Let's just be honest here, Rose.
It still took you a couple minutes to set up.
I'm sitting here with this on with Project Broadcast open at the same time. And yeah, it takes me a little bit longer to do things than it does Rose.
so did anybody start off using Amy and then get rid of Amy and go to Project Broadcast?
A lot of
Yes.
people are.
Well, Project Broadcast, though, I feel like it's Amy. I don't know. I would still do both, I feel like. But I don't know, that maybe just me.
I think it's all how you track your purchases and orders and what your follow-up system is. Because Project Broadcast doesn't pull from your workstation, right? You would
It
still
doesn't
have to keep
pull.
track.
It doesn't pull, but I created a really easy, just a 3 message drip campaign. So when I get an email that somebody placed an order, I put the contact in, add them to the campaign, and then it starts messaging them automatically for follow-up system. So I've gotten rid of Amy just because it's extra money and that's bills I don't want to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have Amy, but I've kind of changed my follow-up system as well. So for my follow-up system, I really don't need Amy other than going back but like I sent out a mass email to customers today. So, you know, I really don't feel like I need Amy to do that customer contact with them because I changed my system on customer follow-up. So, and I feel like what I'm doing now is going to be more of a contact with them than what Amy was giving me in the first place.
So how did you change it? Would you mind sharing how you changed it?
What I do is, so like if I get a PWS order, then I go in and I can either print out their order, and I'm doing the like the 1136. You know what that is?
The one, I'm guessing
1 week,
day
1
after.
month, 3 months, 6 months. And so like if I get a PWS order today, then I print it out, or I can write it down on an order form and I put it in the binder. So then I have folders in here, you know, either pre-orders and then ordered and then shipped, and then 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And I just move that either piece of paper or that order form from folder to folder, so everything is all right in here. So I feel like I'm easier, I have my hands on it more and I see it more than what I would instead of Amy, because I see it in here. Amy is just pulling the info from somewhere else, and I just kind of feel like they get lost. So I'm going to try it this way for a bit and see how that works. So.
And that's the beauty of Scentsy. Like you can do it however you want to do it. Like that's the cool part, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Because with Amy, even though I was using Amy and I was very consistent with Amy and like doing Amy every single day, I was grabbing my phone or I was grabbing my tablet, and what Amy was telling me to do, I was going in and doing it. Very seldom was I ever getting any kind of response. If I was doing a text or if I was emailing them or something like that, I just wasn't getting a response from the customer. But at least this way, I feel like I'm more on a one-on-one communication with them versus just sending a message through Amy. So that's ultimately my goal, is to have more of that one-on-one with them.
When you message them, like when you move them from folder to folder, how do you contact? Like, what's your interaction with the customer?
I can message them. I can message them on Facebook, or okay, so see, like, for example, this one right here, I actually filled out an order form for her. So I've got her order form, and then I just put a sticky note on it and like D for delivered. So when I get the email that order is shipped, then I'll write it down. And then when I know that it's delivered, I'll write down the delivery date and message her and say, hey, I'm just making sure you got it. I saw that it delivered yesterday. And she goes, yep, I got it. Okay, cool. So then a week later, I'll contact her again, if it's either through text or Facebook Messenger, and say, hey, I'm just making sure everything was okay with your warmer. What did you think about the wax? Yeah, I loved it. Okay, cool. Then I move her to a month out. And that's more, instead of just a standard follow-up message through Amy that is really not personalized, because that was the convenience of Amy, was you could go in and you could preset it and just bam, 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 send it out. And it's just as easy for me to send Heather a message on Facebook and say, hey, I see it delivered yesterday. Just want to make sure you got your order.
Sure. So Rose, can we talk about your system for a second? Like, because I kind of feel the same way about like how Amy, I feel like the wording sometimes can be off, and then it's like, well, how, half the time I go back in and I delete like everything that it says, or because yes, I like to have it personal, but sometimes like if they buy a 6-pack of wax or a 4-pack, 4 bars of wax, and then it cuts 1 bar off, and I just don't feel like it jives too. How do you do it when you do your project broadcast? Like, what is your message that you send to them? Like, how do you word it?
Like Amy, you can go in and change your
Right.
templates and make them more personal and put to where it'll put their first name or whatever.
Yep.
But like you said, it kind of just pulls 1 or 2 items, and then it just doesn't sound right and you're wasting time. So I felt personally with Amy, it was a daunting task that overwhelmed me. So I wouldn't do it because it would take me hours to respond to people, or if I wanted to send out a text, it was just too much. So I ended up by not doing it. So the more I've learned about Project Broadcast, I just, like I said, I set it up. It's a drip campaign. So once I add them to, I have it set up that 2 days after I add them, it sends them a thank you message, which is what I typically say to people, just about, how much I appreciate their order. And, if they need anything before it comes in, just let me know, I'm here. And then 2 weeks after that, it sends another one where the text message pulls their name and just, ask them, how are you loving it? Have you had a chance to use it? It's more of that type of a message with a picture, because I've been really bad about asking for social media interaction. So I have a picture that's cute that asks about sharing what they got on social media, and then my handles. So that this way it's automatic. It's 2 weeks. They should have already gotten their products by then. And what I love about Project Broadcast is when they text back, it's kept in Project Broadcast. So it's not wasting up space on your phone. It's just in the app. It's still like text messaging. You can see all your history with the person. And then 2 months later is just a simple text that says, gosh, it's already been 2 months. Can you believe it? Do you need to restock? And then it just kind of goes, and then it's another picture that goes with it. And then what I'm going to do, because I just started this, so I've got one campaign right now, and I'm going to create a couple more that are pretty much the same thing, but with different pictures, kind of the same wording, so that in between, if they do order, you can just remove that tag and then add them to the second one, and it'll stop that campaign and start a new one, so that your thank you doesn't look exactly like the one that they got the first time. And then it kind of takes that pressure off of having to remember, because we're all really good, I feel like, right when they get their order, you follow up, but then it's like 2 months later, you're like, you don't, kind of shy away from I shy away from following up later on. So if I'm not thinking about the fact that I feel spammy or salesy, because I've already put in the wording to make it sound personal. So that's kind of just how I'm gonna try it out.
Awesome.
And so far, I mean, people are responding back, thanks, or, you know, just short little messages once they do get the thank you. So,
Right.
Mhm.
And you bring up a good point about having like the second or the third drip, so that you can,
so that when they do get the second one, it's not like,
it's not,
oh, this is the
this
same
is so,
exact
yeah.
text. you
And
used
that's
in
where I
the
feel like I have one lady that I feel like she orders every week, and I'm finally like, I just don't, I see that she's in my Amy, but then I like don't even like respond to her from there, because she's gonna get the exact same message, you know,
Right.
like, okay, hey Cheryl, how's it going? Thanks again for your order. Like, I appreciate you. Like, and she just keeps ordering, you know, it's like, I don't need to tell her like, oh, thank you for ordering your whiff box and your, you know, like, I feel like it's a little, I just need to go in and
And
change
it's also
that part of it.
what's great about Project Broadcast too is that one of those messages that you send out, which I don't even know, I can't remember if my third one says it, but you can even ask them, you know, if you want to continue, if you want to get updates or specials or whatever, you can respond back with, and then you put your keyword. So like if you want join or VIP or however you want it, then they're opting into your text messaging follow-up VIP system. So,
Which is cool.
yeah, that, I mean, Project Broadcast, literally when stuff needs, like if it's a LTO, it takes me 2 seconds just to type up the message, add the 300 and something contacts, and you hit send, and boom, done. And then they also, which I realized the other day, that I guess I put too many salesy words in my text message, or too many exclamation marks or something, but none of them sent, because they said it sounded too spammy. And they don't do that out of like not to send it, it's just so that the carriers don't block you. So you can check to make sure when you type up, you can check to see, is it gonna go? Is it not gonna go? How good am I? And then it'll even tell you like what you can change to help it not sound so spammy and salesy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a in one of the templates that's being used by somebody that created one on Visly. This is literally a picture. You can't see that. And the quote says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. You see anything wrong with that? I want you to know that Facebook has flagged that as fake news.
That's why I've tried to get all my stuff onto Project Broadcast. Like I send more stuff through there than, because nothing is more infuriating than posting about a sale and then nobody sees it till 3 days after the sale is already. And
I mean, that's not even saying anything about a sale. It's just talking about.
Oh no, I know, but what I mean is like I've gotten my stuff flagged too as false news. But Facebook, their algorithms, they won't, even stuff that they will allow you to post, they won't post it for 3 days.
But what was so crazy about this is this post literally is in a group with me and one other person. There's 2 of us in that group, and they flagged it as fake news. And I was like, I know she didn't report that post. There is no way she reported that post, because she probably would have been like, what? But yeah.
Yeah, everyone is saying, not just Scentsy, but other companies are saying, to move it other places, not just to be solely on social media. Because if something were to happen, then, you know, like, how does your business continue? So yeah, having a project broadcast, an email system, having your emails somewhere other than, you know, or your contacts, or yeah. So I mean, that could be a whole different discussion on how we, you know, how you can use other ways other than social media. And that could be a really good topic, because Jen and I were talking, like, we should just, these next 4 months, we're really going to focus on this incentive, like give you different options for PRV, talk about join conversations, and, you know, like different types of parties, like how can we help you guys? Like, what can we bring to the table? Like, is it somebody? Is it something? Like, you know, I don't really want to have another discussion about, like, oh, social media. Like, how can we, you know, like, we just need to go back to the basics and say, you know, like, we can talk about fundraisers. We can talk about drop-offs at businesses. Like, I didn't think about that. You know, it's been so long, but oh my gosh, that is exactly what I did in the very beginning 12 years ago, is dropping warmers off. And now we have the fan diffusers or the mini fans, like, you know, like people working in their single office or at home. You know, maybe it's not even an office building. Maybe it's someone's home. I don't know. But so we're going to try to brainstorm and do better at that. But if you guys have any suggestions, we're always willing and able to do whatever you guys want. So, but yeah. Anything else there, Miss Crowder?
I was going to say something and then I unmuted myself, and then I did like that you were just talking about all the new products that we have, since we did that before.
It's so different.
So question, because I've been trying to think of all the different ways to just get back in the groove, because I feel like January has been such a slump, January and February for me. And Jennifer, did I jog your memory? But so I thought about this weekend going to my parents' house in Georgia, and they're in like a new neighborhood and everybody's very friendly. So I was going to go down and leave stuff, talk to some of the people that they already know, and then leave stuff at doors of the other neighbors. But what's like your most effective things to leave, especially with me not living there and having to leave, something that's really going to connect or resonate with a drop off or just a quick interaction?
Product sheet. You know, if you have a rack card, maybe put, you know, in a baggie or something like that, a product sheet and a rack card or a business card and a felt sample. I mean, just so they have something to smell.
Yeah.
What area of Georgia do they live in?
Canton.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, like, it's a good time of year too to like beat our last year's numbers. Like this year, I feel like that we should like focus on doing that, because last year was so stellar. Like if we're at least beating our last year's numbers and challenging our teams and our groups to do the same, like then that will make this year even better than last. So that's something that I want to focus on.
Even Rose, like something where you're giving like motivation or something that they could like put up in their house. It was right as COVID hit. I had printed some of this is just on cardstock. I just cut it out with my little paper cutter. It was a quote, and a girl that I had coached joined a bingo party. She ordered, I put this in her, like, it wasn't this one, but it was a quote, and she's a nurse, and she put it in her locker. And just the other day, she like sent me a picture of the inside of her locker, and she's like, hey, like, I look at this every day and I think of you, and I'm like, what? Like, that took me 3 seconds to make, you know? So it's like stuff like that I think, do you want like an instant gratification? Like, hey, here's a coupon. Or like, do you want something that kind of lets them think about like you as a Scentsy consultant, but like you as a motivational person or you as an uplifting person? I think it all depends on what you want your goal to be. Like, do you want sales, or do you, you know, like, or maybe joining, or
Yeah, I mean, it mainly sales and joining, because it seems like there's a lot of stay-at-home moms in the area. You've got your older established people that live there. Plus, I mean, every time we're there, it seems like the moms all around are out all the time. The husbands obviously make good money and they're there all the time. And so kind of want to just kind of touch on both, because got to do something.
so I'd make a join flyer with your kids on it.
Yeah.
With you and your kids. Just get right to their heartstrings, right?
Yeah.
Like the reasons that I love Scentsy, because I can stay home with my kids, I can provide an income, I can be at, you know, granted they might not need the income, but also like I feel like so many people are just craving that physical like being with somebody, you know, like talking about interaction and being part of a team or being part of a support base. I feel like I talk about it differently now. Like I talk just because there's so many people that are craving that.
Yeah.
So
It's like when Orly was talking last night about, you know, it's been a year since they've given out Scentsy hugs, you know, and that had to have been when they did World Tour Nashville, because did they not cancel the weekend after that?
I think they went somewhere else after Nashville.
we
I
were
was
the
in
seventh.
St. Louis the weekend after Nashville.
Okay.
It was right at the same, I mean, yeah, it
Mhm.
was
Because it's
like-
been a year. It was a year ago when we were in Nashville.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A year ago today.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And then March 7th was Minneapolis, but they didn't come to Minneapolis. But I want to say that either there was one more weekend after that, or that was the last time. Because I
Yeah,
do
'cause-
remember like talking to like, oh, I don't remember who's Jason there? Maybe. And they were like, yeah, people are getting COVID. And it's like, ooh, like the presenters were getting COVID, or like the staff, the Scentsy staff were getting COVID because they were going to all these events. So they're like, we can't continue to do this. It's like, well, no.
Yeah,
But-
because it was
Yeah.
March 13th when everything started shutting down.
Okay. So yeah, that's not very many days from the
Yeah.
7th to the 13th. Woo!
Yeah.
All happened fast. Can't you, like, don't you remember exactly where you were? Like,
Yeah.
I can feel, like, just like 9/11, like, you remember exactly where you were, exactly how you felt, like,
Mhm.
I was at the
crying.
Memphis Women's Show.
huh?
I was at the Memphis Women's Show.
Oh.
And it was one of those things like, we just spent a whole lot of money. Are people going to show up? And like so many people talking about it not being real. And then the panic, like that weekend we got our first case at the hospital, like close by. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But we'll always remember it, right?
Yep.
I'm tired of living through history.
Right? Yeah.
So tired of it.
Okay.
Just
We're
been
just
working
have a
from
normal
home
life.
almost a year. He's been home almost a year, and it's like, oh my God, would you please go back to work?
I like
know,
the Facebook post where somebody said, are we really allowing March to come back this year after how she acted last year?
And I saw one that was like, how are we going to celebrate 1 year of COVID? Like Tetris, puzzles,
My
company.
brother and sister-in-law going back to Dolly World.
Oh, a
They
week.
were at Dolly World last year when it shut down, so that's where they're going on the 13th. They're going back to Dolly World. I was like, you're freaking weird.
Oh, what a world. What a world. What a world. All right. We can be boogie. thanks everybody for either hopping on either live or recorded. If you are watching recorded, let us know because it's always good to know. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks and we'll be talking about some way of how to earn this incentive. We're just gonna shove this down your throat. So get ready.
This is the work. All right, guys. See
All
ya.
right. See you later.
Bye.